And Father, we pray, God, that you would give them wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Help them to be the leaders that you've called them to be in this time. And Father, we pray for our communities, that you will bless our communities in a great way. Father, help us, Lord God, to have peace and safety in each and every community in this great city. We thank you, Lord God, and we give your name praise. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Council, need a motion on the work session minutes from November the 2nd.
Mr. President, move to adopt.
Have a motion to adopt. All in favor, raise your hand.
5 and 3 abstain. 5 and 8 abstain.
Okay. Need a motion on the regular council minutes from the November the 2nd meeting.
Mr. President, move to adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Okay. All right, Mr. Mayor, you're up.
She gonna kill it.
Good evening. I want to just give a overview of some good news that we've had happen in this community. You know, often when we come to city council meeting, it seems as though we're talking about a lot of the challenges that we have, but we've also had a lot of wins and a lot of successes, and everybody in this room has been a part of that, from the cabinet to all the various departments and divisions and everyone who's been working over here on behalf of the city to our city council members. And so it's great to kind of give some good news for a change, as long as we can keep it that way. We're going to try to keep it that way, certainly through the holidays and hopefully on into the new year. So we want everybody to be on their best behavior around the city so we can keep that going. I want to start with a recap of the past week. And some of you may be aware, but we had a big announcement, and that was that Amazon will be bringing 500 jobs to this city with $100 million worth of investment. These are very, very good paying jobs, 2 times the Alabama state and federal minimum wage. And this will be a 650,000 square foot logistics hub, and the only one located in Alabama. It will be located in Montgomery, between I-65 and Highway 31, just north of Hyundai Boulevard, so on the west side of this city. And this is only part of what we have in store for the I-65 corridor in West Montgomery. I just talked with Robert Smith, and he clarified that we have signed the study for the I-65 corridor, Counselor, and we think that we'll start getting some of that feedback in the next 90 days or so. So that plan has gone out for particularly the West-South Boulevard intersection. There's some other conversations that we're having along Highway 80 and Selma to Montgomery Voting Rights Trail. There's a lot of potential there on up through Mobile Highway all the way through Oak Street, where our Community Development Department has been actively working to find those developers and to find those partners for affordable housing and those that want to help invest and restore the Civil Rights Trail. That goes along with some of my outreach to real estate developers in the private sector about recruiting more retail for the I-65 corridor, in particular the Fairview Avenue and West-South Boulevard intersections, as well as potential new intersections that we may have coming online. So there are a lot of good things that are happening in this city. There are a lot of good things that we don't always get a chance to share because of legal agreements and because of things along those lines. But when we do get the opportunity, we want to let you know that because you don't see things happening doesn't mean there's not a lot of work being done. Now, we know that's not fast enough for anyone, and we all want to see it happen tomorrow. And I've got some things on this list that I want to see happen tomorrow at the federal level that I'll share with you, but I know it may take a little time. But we wanted to just share with you this good news about the 500 jobs and $100 million worth of investment. Now, the last thing I'm going to say on this is very important because it's up for people in this room and people that may be watching this online also understand that we got to be prepared for these jobs. We've got to be prepared for the type of opportunities that we have. And right now, we believe we are, but we've got some other things in the pipeline that we want to make sure that we are. And so we want our community to be aware that there are multiple ways to be successful. There are multiple ways to be productive citizens in this community. There are a lot of different jobs, a lot of different careers that you can have that right now are going understaffed, if you will. So for those who are saying that they aren't sure kind of where to work or how to get their foot in the door, give us a call and we'll connect you to some of our partners in the two-year college system, some of our private employers here in the city that are looking for skilled tradesmen, who are looking for people that are willing to take on an apprenticeship. There are a number of good opportunities, and they don't care about your background. The only thing they care about is your integrity, your ethics, and your willingness to work hard. If you got those three things, then they're looking for you. So we want to make sure that we put Montgomery in the best position possible so we can have more announcements like this, not just one every now and then. So I hope that this community will take on the challenge, and I believe that knowing the city the way I do, we'll step up to that charge. Now I want to go to our next point of good news, and that is what took place today. And that is today we had a groundbreaking on the Calmar Drive Community Center. And I was honored to join many of our counselors out there who were there for the ribbon cutting, along with some of our colleagues over at the County Commission, but in particular Councilman Pruitt, who has been pushing for this for a number of years to bring a community center to this part of Montgomery. And I think it's work like that, again, that's not often seen or heard, that people don't know that's happening in the background until they see the building go up. But today was one of those days where, after many years, Counselor, your dream and a lot of your hard work has begun. And this is a $400,000 CBDG fund that we're going to use, or grant, excuse me, that we're going to be using to construct a 5,000 square foot community center. This will not be one that we think about as much with ball fields and gymnasiums, as much as it will be built around what I just mentioned, reskilling, workforce development programs, educational programs, and even high-quality pre-K that before this infrastructure bill was signed at the federal level, we were trying to figure out how we would pay for it. And now we feel much better about this being a fully funded, high-quality pre-K program. And so when you think about educating the whole child and making sure that we take care of all the community, this is one of those projects that we want you to know that our staff, and along with your counselors, are working very hard to do, not just in this location, which we commemorate today, but also in other locations as well. And so we look forward to having what we hope will be called the Courtney Pruitt Community Center, pending an ordinance, of course, and a vote by the council here very soon, going up and serving those residents in Calmar Drive and the surrounding communities. And we believe that along with our campaign to move Montgomery forward, we can tie in the community center growth with the growth of our city. And so that's just a little bit of the good news, and that's just from last week to today. But we also have more good news, and that is we want to highlight some of our community heroes, and these are folks who have been stewards and leaders that have been joining us tonight. They are our latest community heroes, and we're honored to have them, and we want to thank Beasley Allen and the Montgomery Advertiser for their partnership in this program. Tonight we're going to honor Ms. Daisy Fan, Mr. Willie Durham for their work in the community, and we're going to thank them for their efforts in making sure that it's not just those who are elected to office and those who are appointed to office who take on the responsibility, but it's often citizens like these that take on a lot of responsibility and help this community be what it is today. So at this time, I want to welcome Montgomery Advertiser Executive Editor Paige Winster to come share a little bit more, and then I'll follow up with the rest of our mayor's message. Thank you.
Good evening. So first, a big thank you to the Beasley Allen Law Firm for sponsoring Community Heroes. It's a series that allows us the chance to celebrate good works of people in our communities. The first one that I'm going to talk about tonight is Mr. Willie Durham. He's our community hero for August, and he's the first of two to be honored tonight. Mr. Durham was chosen as a community hero in part because he represents the best of small businesses. Their caring nature, their commitment to their customers, their investment in their communities. Mr. Durham is an insurance agent who of course looks out for his customers, but the Montgomery native is generous in his time and resources to the charities here, as well as the business community. He's provided leadership to the Chamber of Commerce, and he's known and dependable by those at the highest levels here. Mr. Durham, our thanks for your good works and your dedication to the people of your hometown. Congratulations.
I'm indeed humbled by this award. Mayor, I heard you say on many occasions, if you ever see a turtle on a fence post, you know he didn't get there by himself. I didn't get here by myself. I have an awesome team that I'm blessed to work with every day. I have a very supportive wife that allows me to go out into the community and be a good neighbor. This is where we live, work, and worship. We get our means from this community in the business, those that choose to allow us to insure them. So why wouldn't I give back to a community that supports me? And I am grateful for this recognition as the community hero for the month of August. Thank you.
All right.
We're gonna wait.
I know, you were all ready to go, weren't you?
We're gonna hold up.
I don't actually need notes for our next community hero. I didn't need it for Mr. Durham either, because we did some storytelling about Miss Fan in the newspaper not too long ago. But Daisy Fan is one of those people that you meet and you're just blown away by her energy, her unique dedication to communities. But I have to tell you something about Miss Fan, and that is before she ever came to Montgomery, she was already a hero. She was a teacher in the Fairfax, Virginia school system, where she taught seniors. Seniors are just that perfect, delicate student that is either going to make it, and they've got high hopes, and then there are those who struggle, and Miss Fan has seen them both. I asked her a little while ago if she ever had a student where she thought, that one's not going to make it, and only to be surprised that they did just great. And she said there were doctors, there were lawyers, there were all kinds of great professionals that came from that place. What's interesting about Ms. Fan is that when she came to Montgomery, she moved to North Pass, and when she had first purchased a house there with her husband some years before, it was a charming military neighborhood and they fell in love with it. When they came here, they saw some problems that they wanted to fix, problems in their community that she decided, I'm going to get to work and deal with this. And I think that's where the teacher came out. She developed relationships in the community, not just with her neighbors, but also officials in the community. I don't believe there's a person in elected office who hasn't met her, who hasn't been called by her to make changes for the good in her community. What I have seen from her work in this community should be a blueprint for how neighborhoods come together and fight for the very best of their communities. So for all you do, Ms. Fan, thank you so much, and congratulations on being a community hero.
Now we can do it. Okay. One more. Yeah, put some film in that camera. Fix your flash. Congratulations. Daisy. Congratulations. Miss Daisy. She probably get it. Or she coming up here to talk. Don't tear the mic up. Y'all dressed up tonight. Got on a family vest. All right, here we go. No, yeah, he's a professional. Thank you, Miss Daisy.
If we give our honorees another round of applause, please. Ms. Fain, 55. Just a couple more things, and I'd like to try to time my long messages with a short agenda so we can still get out on time. But I thought that tonight might be a good time to delve into something that I rarely do, and that's just kind of give an update at the federal level, because I think it's very important that we stay engaged and we stay informed of what's happening, how those things impact us. As some of you may know, I was honored to be invited to attend the White House ceremony yesterday for the Infrastructure and Investment Jobs Act by President Biden and Vice President Harris. It was a great opportunity to be there with some members of our congressional delegation, Representative Terry Sewell, but also mayors from around the country. And this legislation is very important because for all practical purposes, this is not even once in a generation, this is really once in a lifetime investment and opportunities. And when we think about the opportunity for this type of investment now, it reminds some of what this nation did when they built the cross-country railways. It reminds others of what this country did when they built the interstate system. And it reminds me of what we can do with access to broadband and spanning the digital divide. This legislation was bipartisan, was voted on, I think, with the best of spirit and engagement of those at the highest level of government. And what we saw yesterday were mayors, governors, business leaders, faith leaders, members of Congress, people who are members of unions, and everyday folks that were invited to participate in this transformational legislation. I believe this legislation will bring jobs, equity, and opportunity to communities to help build back better this country. Currently, up to 10 million American households and 400,000 schools and child care centers lack safe drinking water. When we think about this type of opportunity, we have the bipartisan infrastructure deal. It will invest $55 billion to expand access to clean drinking water for households, businesses, schools, and child care centers all across the country. Some of those issues we hear from our residents from around this city. Many of your constituents bring those issues up to you more often than we hear about in this city council meeting. This bill will address just that. There's an emphasis on equity and opportunity, in particular for low-income communities. There's a focus on communities of color that have seen disinvestment and have been disadvantaged for far too long. And this act will address economic disparities in our economy and the consequences of decades of that disinvestment in the American infrastructure that have fallen most heavily on communities of color. And through critical investments, this legislation increases access to good-paying jobs, as we were talking about earlier, affordable high-speed internet. It makes the biggest and the most significant investment in public transit, period, in the history of the federal government. These are barriers to economic opportunity because so often we run into people who cannot get to Hyundai, who cannot get to some of our automotive manufacturers, they can't even get to some of our small businesses because they don't have reliable transportation, and our public transportation system is not sufficient enough. So we'll get some help for clean drinking water and other resources to ensure that these communities have a fair shot at the American dream. The President believes that additional investments are also needed in the nation's caregiving infrastructure, housing supply, regional development, as well as workforce development programs that ensure that communities of color and other underserved communities can get access to economic opportunity and justice. The week prior to this, I was at the Department of Commerce, again at the invitation of this administration, about an equity summit. And one of the things they brought up in the equity summit was making sure that small businesses, Mr. Durham in particular, black-owned small businesses, brown-owned small businesses, get access to the federal contracts, get access to the federal procurement opportunities that has really helped businesses around Montgomery. Blunt Construction is probably the best known of those right here in Montgomery that built embassies all around the world. We don't have a lot of examples of that for black entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs of color. So this administration really has an effort and an emphasis on doing just that. And I want you all to know that when we think about high-speed internet, I don't want you to just think about what you can go get at Walmart.com or Amazon.com. This is really about equity. It's really about opportunity. Many of you know someone who doesn't have access to high-speed internet. They can't download a job application off of our city personnel website within a certain amount of time if they don't have that. So that in itself is a barrier to economic opportunity. And this legislation really addresses that. And when we think about broadband, I want you to think back to when we first got into COVID and we were putting Wi-Fi on school buses. And we were asking parents to bring their kids out to these school buses in various places to bring their kids so they could do their homework, so they could get access to what they needed for schools. Part of what this bill will address is the disparity that exists in certain parts of cities like ours even, much less in rural parts of this county or rural parts of this city and state. And so this bill addresses a lot of issues that we hear about, and these are things that we're going to have direct access to as a city. We're going to have direct access to these resources as President Biden has named former Lieutenant Governor and former Mayor of New Orleans, Mitch Landrieu, to be the senior advisor and coordinator. For a lot of us at the municipal level, that's good news. We don't have someone in the private sector who's coming to tell those in government how things should work. We don't have someone who's been a congressman all their life telling someone at the local level how government should work. We have someone who's been there as a mayor in a city working with other cities and working with other local leaders who understands the importance of getting things done and getting resources where they need to be. And so I want you all to understand that this is a transformational piece of legislation, and it's something that we will not only benefit from in this state, but also in this city. And it's something that we believe will also be impactful on those that are looking to get that job, that good paying job in the workforce, because there are going to be a number of opportunities for businesses to expand, whether they're pipe fitters or whether they're laying fiber. There are going to be opportunities. There are going to be opportunities in child care, home health care. All of these are things that we need in order to make our economy go and to help us expand our economic footprint. And so I want you to understand that part of the president's message yesterday to all of us was that it's not a matter of who takes credit for it. The only thing that matters is who was impacted by it, who was helped by it. And how can we do more things like that to help the American people? And they asked us to do one thing as mayors, and they asked us to do one thing as people that were invited. They just asked us to share the information. Share the information in our communities and to share the information with those that want to understand what this Infrastructure and Investment and Jobs Act, what is all that fancy words, what does that really mean? How does it connect to my everyday life? Well, let me just say this and then I'll move on from this topic. Under the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, Alabama will receive a minimum allocation of $100 million to help provide broadband coverage across the state, including providing access to at least 565,000 Alabamians who currently lack it. We cannot put that in terms of a dollar amount when we consider, again, what those barriers mean and what they present to everyday people. And under the Infrastructure and Investment and Jobs Act, $1.5 million, or at least 31% of people in Alabama will be eligible for the Affordability Connectivity Benefit, which will help low-income families afford internet access. And so when we think about that, along with some of the numbers that you've seen on the screen as I've been talking, $782 million for Alabama water infrastructure. I see Commissioner Sankey back there. We've been talking about that for a number of months. Folks in Madison Park and Old Selma Road and folks down in Macedonia and other neighborhoods ought to hear that. We're going to get that money. $400 million to improve public transportation. $140 million for Alabama's airports over the next 5 years. $5.2 billion for federal aid highway apportion programs. $225 million for bridge replacement and repairs. These are just some of the numbers that Alabama will see. And so I want you to know one thing. What you saw yesterday and what my family has known for the last 4 weeks, I've been in D.C. the last 3 out of the last 4 weeks, none with more than 72 advance notice. But when the White House calls you, you take that invitation, and if you can change everything, you just change it. And so we've answered the call because part of making sure that we maximize this opportunity is making sure that we're in the room and making sure that our mouth is open. And so when I go up there, I go to Washington not to speak for anyone other than the people of Montgomery and to see how much I can bring back. And my goal is to be like some of those folks on Black Friday. I want things falling out my shopping cart on my way back from D.C. And that's the goal, is to make sure that we have more than our fair share of what we need, because we know as a council, we know in the mayor's office that there are a lot of needs in this community. And this is a great time for us to try to fulfill many of those needs across the board. So there'll be more trips to D.C. There'll be more opportunities for us to try to achieve federal funding. And believe it or not, we've got a lot of friends in D.C. You'd be surprised how many people in this administration have been to Montgomery and have fond feelings about Montgomery on one trip or the other. And so we stand in a special place as a city to really maximize this opportunity and to make sure that we can provide for our residents the best type of investment that we can get. And that's making sure that our federal government is a full-fledged partner in what we're trying to do in Montgomery to grow our economy, to provide opportunity for everyone, regardless of their last name, regardless of their zip code, regardless of anything that they may think is a barrier or hurdle. And that's our goal, and that's why I was honored to be invited to the ceremony yesterday, and I was honored to be there with other mayors from around the nation, including Mayor Woodfin from Birmingham. So we look forward to helping out Alabama and helping out our respective cities. And I think just with some of the numbers that you see here and some of the goodwill and conversations that we have, we'll be able to bring some bacon back home. So I just wanted to give you all the update and let you know that there's a lot of opportunity that we'll be chasing, and we have been chasing already, to bring back to this city. So again, more good news that I wanted to share with you, and I look forward to seeing some of those things that I want to see done tomorrow come to fruition in these upcoming weeks and months.
Great.
So just wanted to share that part with you, and since I have concluded that part, I will skip the financial update because right now we don't have the necessary numbers in. We'll come back with a financial update in the first meeting in December when we'll have more of our tax revenue dollars in, and we'll share that information with you at that time. Finally, I will get to just a few upcoming events that I want to announce. The first one is Operation Hope. You're invited to join us Thursday at City Hall, right here at 11 a.m. for Operation Hope Community Partnership announcement. Operation Hope is a nonprofit for purpose organization working to disrupt poverty and empower inclusion for low and moderate income youth and adults. Their mission is to expand economic opportunity, making free enterprise work for everyone. We're grateful to our partners at Trustmark Bank and Operation Hope for working with us to bring this to Montgomery. And again, this is something we've been working on for over a year, but we have it. And this initiative will start off for our city employees first, but for us to expand into the community after that. And if you have not heard of John Hope Bryant, I would encourage you to do a little research or turn on CNBC in the next couple of days, and you'll probably see him speaking about what's happening in the economy and how that's impacting people from all backgrounds and all walks of life. He will be here as the founder of this organization to help us teach more about economic opportunity, financial wellness, and financial literacy on Thursday. So we look forward to partnering with Trustmark Bank and Operation Hope where that is concerned. Also, I just want to briefly mention that we will honor the anniversary of the Montgomery bus boycott beginning December 1st, and we're working with community partners to host events throughout this entire week. And we'll start with Rosa Parks Day, and we'll conclude with the mass meeting over at Holt Street Baptist Church. And this will be the 66th anniversary of the Montgomery bus boycott, and so we invite all of you to participate in some way, whether it be in person or whether it be virtually, where that is concerned. And you can find more information at mgmbusboycott.com. And I won't read off all the partners, but there are a number of them that we'll be sharing over the next few days. Finally, we've got the Turkey Day Classic events coming up with Alabama State University. The city will be a proud partner in those events, including the Turkey Day Parade, and we hope everybody will not only come out to that, but also come out to the, I think they call them the Gobble Wobble 5K the day after Thanksgiving to try to work off some of those pounds that we put on Turkey Day. But we want to see everybody at the Turkey Day Parade on Thanksgiving Day, and we look forward to having a good time with all our family and friends over at Alabama State University and throughout this community as we celebrate this occasion. So I know that was a long report. There was a lot of information there, but hopefully you heard a lot of good news. And so just make sure that when you leave out today, let folks know it's not all doom and gloom in Montgomery. We got a lot of good things going on and a lot of good things poised to happen moving forward, whether it's with community centers, whether it's with our federal government, or whether it's with community heroes like we honor here tonight. So just make sure you spread the good word every now and then, because the bad word is going to run all by itself. Thank you so much, Mr. President.
Very good, Mayor. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Madam Clerk, item number 1.
Mr. President,
Yes,
before
sir.
we get started,
Yeah,
I'd like to do a recall on the hotels on Carmichael Drive and Monticello Drive on the review that we called 2 weeks ago at our last council meeting. I would like to rescind that till further notice.
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Thank you.
Mr. President, item 1, hearing on proposed ordinance rezoning 3 parcels located on the north side of Selma Highway, east of Woodcrest Drive, east side of Woodcrest Drive, north of Selma Highway, from an M3 and an R100 district to a B4 district.
Mr. Tyson?
Mr. President, the Planning Commission failed to make a recommendation on this item, and it rises on appeal.
Okay.
Ms. Blaylock, do I need to read the amendment first, or go ahead and hear from the people first?
Let's hear,
We've got to have the public hearing
let's hear the
first.
public hearing first. Is the owner here, property owner here? Yes, sir. You want to come up for me, please, and ask your questions then?
Thank you. I have the copies of the revised plan. I will hand it out to you.
Okay, and,
Yes, come right here.
I'm sorry. Oh, that's right, yeah, no, okay, he's on it, he's signed up to this. Okay. gotta have him in there.
Yes, I revised it. Thank you.
You got that picture, okay. Okay. And Tommy, there was no decision at the planning commission, right?
There was not a motion.
Okay, all right. Okay, we've got several people signed up here to talk about this issue. First of all, Ms. Barbara Harris, widow of
Yes, Herman Harris,
Mr. Herman Harris.
councilman.
Really good man, we always served our city. So let's let them talk first. Ms. Barbara Harris, please. Oh, she's-
Mr. Peter, if you would just step back a little bit so she walk up here. Yeah, give her some space. That's right.
Thank you. To the Honorable Mayor Stephen Reed, City Council President of the Honorable Charles Jenwright, and distinguished members of the City Council. My name is Barbara Harris. My late husband, Herman Harris, once occupied one of the seats on the dais where you sit. While I'm not well, I drag myself here because it is important that I speak as a 50-year-plus resident of Woodcrest. Herman was a 52-year resident at the time of his death in 2020. The property on the agenda is in the block next to my house, next to my residence, 3 houses away from me. I am appealed to the City Council not to approve this drastic change in our neighborhood. Traffic is already terrible at the only entrance and exit to Woodcrest, especially for us senior citizens coming off Selma Highway. We definitely do not need to increase traffic congestion or more than 18-wheelers or ladies of the evening hanging around. We also don't need people seeking donations, cigarettes, and rides, loitering when they are not littering. Would you appreciate any of this property value killing activity where you live? I don't think so. Businesses need to be in areas zoned for them, not residential areas designed for children to ride bicycles and adults to stroll. Our neighborhood has had a history of problems with the current incarnation of this business. My late husband and I spent many hours picking up trash and drink cans dropped outside by customers, even though the owner promised to keep the property clean and tidy when he first opened. That's one of the several commitments the owner made when he first moved in and promptly forgot. Expanding this already troublesome business concept will only enhance safety issues throughout Woodcrest as unsavory elements to streets of our neighborhood and its park as places where they can engage in activities that will warrant police calls. As I search my mind and try to recall a truck stop in Montgomery near a residential area, I cannot. We want Woodcrest to remain a viable part of West Montgomery. There are plenty of parcels on Selma Highway that would be great locations for what will likely evolve into a massive 24-hour truck stop. Please do not support this proposal. I sincerely doubt the owner of this business would build a property evaluating truck stop convenience store near his residence. We don't want one near ours. I thank you for hearing my heartfelt plea.
Thank you, Ms. Harris.
And other senior citizens.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Okay, we have some other people like to talk.
Thank
Adela
you, Ms.
Smith.
Harris.
Thank you, Ms. Harris.
Okay, Demetrius, I think they said Adele Smith, Adela,
Yeah, Dila
coming
Smith.
up first.
Yeah, Dila Smith, and then,
Then we'll get you Miss Pruitt, I
Miss
think.
Pruitt,
Uh-huh.
and then Walker Smith. Okay, so,
Good evening, everyone. Mayor Reed, Council. I'm Adela Smith. I come to you as a member of the Woodcrest community. I know there may be a few of us on the agenda, but Woodcrest, if y'all raise your hands, it's a lot of us in here tonight. We're speaking in regards to item number 1 that's on the agenda, the rezoning. The concern for most of us is safety more than anything else. It's not the gas station itself, it's the safety. Yes, we heard exactly what Ms. Harris had to say. That's part of that, the increased traffic. It's already a high accident area. We know that. We're waiting on the numbers to come back from the reports that have been requested, but we yet have glass that's laid out at the intersection. If you've never been to the Woodcrest community, it's one way in and one way out. The only thing other than Highway 80 that we have that surrounds our neighborhood is woods. It's one way in, one way out. This is why it's such a major concern for safety, with the gas station being right there on the corner. You can come through the neighborhood. You can come down a little bit down Woodcrest Drive. It gives you about the length of a car and maybe a car and a half before you have to turn into the gas station. I'm sure you all see the plans that the owner has given you. If you see where it splits right there in the middle, just past the retention pond, this is where we're having issue after issue. I invite you all to come if you've never been to the Woodcrest community. See what the flow of traffic is like. Again, it's one way in, one way out. Some of y'all might get a chance to see the glass that's still there from the last major accident that we have. And every accident doesn't get reported. It's a lot of close calls that happen as well. I'm concerned about the safety of my neighbors. I'm concerned about the property value. We all know that when safety is an issue, soon it will be property value that's an issue. I think I speak for everybody when I say we care about our neighborhood, we care about our neighbors, we care about our property value. If you don't do anything else this week, make it a priority that you go see exactly what it is that we're talking about. But please, whatever plans do or don't go forward with this gas station, we are asking that you give us back Woodcrest Drive. We do not need it to be a cut through for the gas station. We don't need it to be a point of entry. It absolutely needs to be blocked off if nothing else happens. Thank you.
thank you. Ms. Pruitt, you're up. Ms. Pruitt.
Thank you for having me. My name is Demetrius Pruitt, and I am the president of Woodcrest Improvement Association. I think the two people that have come before me, they spoke so eloquently of the issues that we are having with the gas station. Right now, just like she said, there's one way in, one way out. We've had so many close calls. We're in litigation right now with Nature's Own bread driver who missed the turn into that gas station because he was going too fast and hit our sign. In the last 4 years, Woodcrest sign has been hit probably about 5 times, and it was not a resident of Woodcrest. Most of them, people make me very aware of what's going on, so usually when there's an accident up there, I'm on site, I get a chance to talk to the people who have hit the sign, and 9 times out of 10, they were trying to make that stop for that, to go into the marathon, and wasn't able to make it. Also, another my concern is sometimes bigger and better is not what we need in our community. Woodcrest is a neighborhood of only 250 homes. I was born and raised in Woodcrest. Woodcrest is a very low crime area. We take pride in our homes. We're concerned about our property value and the crime that could possibly happen there. In my meeting with Pete, who is the marathon owner, I asked him several questions about what his plans were for that particular location. I could never really get a concrete answer on certain things, just as I asked him with the gassing of the 18-wheelers that he's planning to have at this location, are you planning on making this a 24-hour store? The store closes at 9 o'clock. So this also will be unwanted company that we will have all through the day and all through the night. If you look on the map, you can see that there are homes right across the street from this location. These are working people. They have to get rest. They have children that they're concerned about because we have kids that walk up to this store. So bigger and better is not necessarily what we need. Also, by looking at this map, you can see where that retention pond will be right there at the corner of our entrance. Now, I don't think any of you would like to have a retention pond right at the entrance of your neighborhood. You wouldn't want to have a store that is able to gas up 18-wheelers in your neighborhood at your front door. We understand that his store is dilapidated and something needs to happen, but this plan is not it. Okay. I've talked to him several times about the gassing up of the 18-wheelers. Also,
your time is pushing. Your time is up. Okay.
Okay.
3-minute time.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Demetrius.
Well,
Walter Smith.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I'm a 52-year resident, 52-and-a-half-year resident of Woodcrest. The concerns are an issue about trust. How can you make us let you do what you want us to do? If everybody felt like we can do what we want to do just because it's our property, we would have cars all across our grass. If it's wrong for us, because our neighbors might not appreciate it, should be wrong for the store to let them do what they want to do. We have senior citizens right across the street. Everybody on that front street, right across the street from that store, sign a petition. You have elderly people out there. The things that are going on now are continually going to happen. When they was trying to put a hotel up in there, here we go again with the same thing. Why? Are you trying to tell us that we can't have no voice in our own neighborhood? I think we can. I ask that you vote it all the way down, Council. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Okay,
Walker.
thank you. I don't think you didn't sign up to speak, or did you? Your name, sir?
Yes. I'm Bishop Leo Lewis,
Okay, I don't see
community
you
pastor
on
in
the
Woodcrest.
Okay, I'll give you a minute.
I was not aware of a pre-sign until I got in.
Okay,
And I would beg of the council an indulgence of a few moments to vote, to voice my dissent concerning this truck stop.
okay.
We are about, thank you very much, we're probably 300 feet, our property. We own 20 acres of land on 80. We've been there since 1982. We have a 26,000 square foot church there. And we have find it very difficult to see the wisdom and placing this kind of a business in the proximity of our church, and of course the community also. We had a tractor-trailer truck that hit one of our deacons and wounded him, and the truck kept going. And some years before, when we were running our Christian school, a child crossing 80 was mortally wounded, killed, maimed, and left for dead. Their shoe flew off of her foot. My wife, in an effort several times to turn into our property, could not turn because of tractor-trailer trucks coming, veering in her rear. She had to make the circle around. And I can see that that kind of problem and issue is going to exasperate itself because of the profundity and the increasing volume of traffic. We have scheduled next year, within 12, 18 months, the placing of our opening up of our Arts Academy, which will be about an $18 to $20 million investment for our children, our youth, and our community, and certainly that would be inconsistent with the vision of the school and the church. And we'd love to have a business there, maybe a strip mall with a coffee house, a Starbucks, but certainly not this kind of a venture that will attract undesirable elements after hours. Thank you.
Very good. I declare the public hearing has been held. It's brought before the council.
You want to hear from the other side?
Yeah, I'd like to hear from the owner. Tell us what your plan is, please.
Thank you for the opportunity to come before you and explain the final plan that I just handed out to you. And Ms. Pruitt is correct. I have met with the Homeowner Association several times until we get to this final revision here, the revised site plan that you have in front of you. There is no any other way that I can explain it, but I can to further, probably I see this is most of the neighbors, association members here keep saying there's truck stop, but it's not really a truck stop. It's few stop for the big truck accommodating the trucks that delivery and in and out in U.S. food and Cokes and big lots, because this is the industrial area. The section, the east side of the neighborhood, there's no house or anything. It just used to be Dana Corporation, U.S. Food, and so on the east side of the neighborhood. And I respect the concern of the neighbors and everyone is here, and I have known each one of them very long time. And so I have thought long and hard about what might have impact their the inconvenient in and out. This is correct, one way in, one way out. I have thought long and hard, if I remain not to make any improvement or expand this particular marathon site the property that I have here, all the grievances about complaining, the traffic and accident will remain. So once expanded, the more access in and out. So this is more convenient for the neighbors, because we have spoke when we met to revise this final plan that we tried to have asked me to move the building all the way to the east, then I did that. I did what Ms. Pruitt requested. That's why I have submitted, and we met on Saturday. So this is fairly new. What I just heard is fairly new to me. So that's why we try to have all the trucks to the east side, so access in and out from the service road and onto the, but you don't see it, the access, another in and out right after the service road to the east here. So that is the plan. What I can do, I can further, as you can see, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 have six to five pumps for the big trucks, for the semi trucks to come in and out. So I can reduce to 3 or 2, because there is not enough land for big truck to park.
Mr. Peter,
They just sit.
well, your time's up, and let me just ask you, was
Yes.
there any compromise ever available for you to put this together?
My understanding when we met, the last before this final revision here, I thought there was the compromise that we have to move the site, the building to the east. So that's why, and I have done that.
Your new store, let me ask you about your new store. Is this connected to Marathon, or is it, these new stores I see are much more shopping center, and if for lack of a better word, they got a lot more food in them. Is that the correct analysis of your store? Your new store, what kind of store are you gonna have? Is it better than what you've got now? Much
Yes.
improved?
Yes, it's going to be much better store because the current building is, I am not sure how old is the building. Mr. Dumas, the elder, or Mrs. Harris, you probably know, probably 50 years old, 40?
Okay, all right.
40,
Hey,
at least 40,
Okay,
30 years
I got
old.
one. You got a
So
question?
the building is what you call it, unrepairable. So
Okay.
everything
Gotta tear it
collapsing,
down.
bouncing, so it needs to demolish and rebuild from the ground up.
Okay.
And
Mr. Calhoun, you got a question?
Yes, sir. Mr. Peter?
yes,
Three questions, rather. I know the perception is that this is supposed to be a truck stop, and I don't think you explained that to the residents. The question was, is this going to be a 24-hour location? Do you plan on being open 24 hours?
I really not can say whether it's going to be 24 hours. Most likely, this is what I'm saying. I will open 24 hours is protects my property.
Okay.
Because if I don't open 24 hours, there will be constantly breaking in. As you can see, my store have to, it look like gate, or put metal bars and everything else out there.
You can't answer that question. Okay, my second question, would you allow overnight parking if you was allowed to?
No, because
Okay, no
it's
over-
not to my interest to have it overnight parking.
Okay. And okay, you're not a truck stop. You can't say whether you're going to be a 24-hour store. And I know
Let me say yes. How about that? Yes.
Okay, that's
Yes,
the wrong
Because
answer.
these kind of investment, I need to recoup my investment here. So
Okay,
it's going
thank
to
you,
be
sir.
a couple $1 million. So it's
Thank you, sir.
yes.
I have a question, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
Peter,
Yes.
you said that Mr. President, Jim Wright asked about would it be food in the convenience store? Will it be more food like we see some with Chester's chicken and things like that? Are
Yes.
you offering that?
Yes, we'll offer
In the expansion.
breakfast, lunch, and we'll have dinner. Currently, the current operator of that site, I have left the business for 6 years now. So I leased out to the own current.
Is it dairy in there?
No dairy.
No dairy. And the second thing, have they seen this revision? Has the community seen this revision that you showed us tonight?
Ms. Pruitt, the leader of the neighborhood association, has
Just
seen
her.
it.
Okay, so just a
And the
clarification.
vice president.
They mentioned something in one of the speeches about a retention pond. That isn't on the revision. It moved up, and so in the back.
Okay.
Okay,
I'd like to
Ms. Graham,
explain
go
the
ahead.
retention pond if
We understand.
okay.
Ms. Graham, you go ahead.
Ms. Blaylock, do I need to read this before we vote on it? The ordinance,
make an
the revision or whatever it is that,
You just need, you'll need to make a motion to adopt and then a motion to substitute, and you did need to tell
yes.
what's different about the substitute.
okay. A motion to adopt and a motion to substitute.
Okay, now voting on the,
Okay.
hold on, Ms.
Now,
Brandon.
let me tell you what's different
Okay,
about it. I
that-
want y'all to hear it. On the original resolution that came before us had two parcels that he was asking to rezone. This amendment is only including one parcel. The one closest to the property, the second one closest to the park, he took off of his request to rezone. Okay, so I just want y'all to know that. Okay, let me say this. I have heard today from the community, which I had heard from Demetrius and the vice president on Saturday, and then I had a meeting with Demetrius previous to that, as well as Mr. Peter. The issues I heard tonight were that traffic, safety, and then a 24-hour store. Those were the three issues that this community, I heard them say that they feel that rezoning, because that's all we're addressing tonight, whether or not to rezone one parcel of land. That's it. Not his store, just whether or not to rezone a parcel of land, because that's all we have the authority to do tonight. Because of those concerns that the community has given us tonight, I'm going to ask this council to vote with me to not approve the motion to rezone a parcel of land tonight. So that's what I'm going to ask the council to vote with me on that.
they have a motion to deny.
Mr. President,
Yes,
before we vote, let me understand what we're voting on. So the original ordinance on number one that we was voting before us was lots 3 and 4.
Right.
So you're making an amendment for lot 4 on the
Only. Because he took 3 out. He didn't want to rezone that 1 up to the north.
Okay, Tommy, this wouldn't have to come back before the planning commission?
No, sir.
No, sir. All right, so let me understand. You want to vote to deny?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Now, wait a minute, I thought you wanted to adopt it and then adopt the substitute.
And deny that then. If that's what I need to do.
Then deny the
She just
substitute.
denies the original.
No, once you substitute, you're only voting
Yeah,
on
that means
this
you
one.
vote yes for it.
Once you made a motion to adopt the old one, then you made a motion to substitute this one. You will vote to substitute this one, and then the final vote will be to adopt the substitute. The old one will be totally replaced.
There you go.
So
Okay.
with the substitute, can he still do
So the deny, you don't need to deny it. You need to, if you wanted to.
Okay, but does that mean that then we're voting for him to be able to rezone a parcel of land, is what you're saying?
Yes.
To rezone lot 4.
But that's not what I want to do then. So do I need to just not vote to substitute and just deny it dead in the water?
Yes,
Without
Then
the substitute?
you don't even need to make a motion to substitute.
Okay, well,
You just
let's
need
do
to
that.
make a motion to deny,
Let's do a
period.
motion to deny then.
Okay. All in favor of the motion to deny, raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Okay.
The ordinance
Motion
is
denied.
denied.
Okay. Next item. Please. If y'all want to leave, you're welcome to take time and go in there. I know you got some elder people there. If y'all want to. All right, item number 2.
Item 2, ordinance altering and enlarging the corporate limits of the city of Montgomery by included within the boundaries of the city and incorporating into contiguous council district property known as Amazon.com Services LLC, located south of Carter Lane and north of Hyundai Boulevard.
Okay, item number 2. I need a motion to suspend the rules.
Mr. President, move to suspend the rules.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Mr. Calhoun?
Yes, ma'am.
Unanimous.
Need a motion to adopt.
President, move to adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. Ordinance is adopted.
Congratulations, Ms. Graham.
Very
Item
good. You got a
3,
new piece of
ordinance
property.
consenting to the disposal of
All right,
certain
number
real
3.
property by the Waterworks and Sanitary Sewer Board located on Wasden Road and Farmer Parkway to Westco in Montgomery.
I need a motion to suspend the rules.
Mr. President, move to suspend the rules.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Which one we on?
Unanimous.
Mr. President, move to adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. Ordinance is adopted. Item 4, review of apartment complexes as follows. Ravenwood Apartments, 2230 Woodley Square.
Okay, Matt Ellis, you're here to speak on part of this issue. And Mr. Mitchell, this is your deal?
Yes. Is Ravenwood, representative from Ravenwood? So just Thomas Properties here?
Hey, we're not here for Ravenwood. We're just here for,
Oh, Ravenwood.
Ravenwood there.
Let me do Ravenwood.
Good evening.
You put it down, put the mic over so we can hear you, please, for your name.
Kenesha Harvey, property manager of Ravenwood Apartments.
Okay, Kanisha, very good. All right.
And how long have you been the property manager?
Since February of this year.
I know when Ravenwood came up, you guys were supposed to have a security company. Who is your security company, and do you currently have a security company?
We do. We have Master Security. That's who secures our property, and we have our reports here, which they're required to turn in at each shift. They are on site from 1 to 3, and then from 12 to 4 a.m., Monday through Friday, and also Saturday and Sundays. In addition to Master Security, we do have a MPD courtesy officer who stays on site. So he helps to patrol our property in addition to the security company. And then we are implementing the STEP monitoring system for our security cameras. So right now we are working with Chris Ashley with Metro Electric. They've submitted their permit application with the city to go ahead and install our 7 house meters on site, which will control our security cameras on each building.
Now, question for you. I was out there Friday and Saturday. I was out there probably about 7 o'clock. I didn't see any cameras on any buildings. I saw cameras on one building that looked like a storage building that had a lot of bars around it. Now, where are your security on your buildings?
We don't have them yet because they have to be rewired. So as I stated, we're working with Chris Ashley. He's a contractor, electrician, who has to get a permit first before he can do the electrical wiring on our buildings. So he has already submitted his application for a permit with the city on today, so he can do the required work to wire our property for our security cameras.
And tell me what time your security, because I was out there Friday and Saturday. I saw no security. I did see a police officer. I stopped him, and he said your guys' contract with Masters was no longer valid. So your contract is valid, and when are your securities out there?
They're there Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 p.m., and then from 12 to 4 a.m. So they're required to turn in, we keep our reports, they're required to turn those in daily, and we have a log of each day here. So we definitely do have a contract with Master Security, and they are on site. They ride a black patrol vehicle with green writing that says Master Security. So we definitely do have a contract, and Chief Marsh is who is over Master Security, and I have communication logs with him from an incident that happened on site who is patrolling our property. So we do have an active contract with the security company.
And going out your back gate, I see your back gate, somebody has torn the back gate down, and you have a couple of cars that was enabled. So what are you doing about those cars that's not running, going to the outside the back gate?
So we are working with Nightmare Towing. Whenever we see a vehicle that is not in compliance, either parked in a fire zone, that has maybe a broken window on a flat tire, we are towing the vehicles. And it's at the residents' expenses, so we do take pictures, and we have a picture log of those. We tag our vehicles, give them 24 hours to get in compliance. If not, they are towed at their expense.
Now we're talking about the repairs of your apartments when it comes to those residents. I get so many calls about things not being repaired on time. How are you doing on repairing your apartments when you do have those repair complaints?
So right now with our residents, they are required to submit work orders through our online portal. Then they are pretty much worked as far as emergencies. So our emergencies are no heat, no AC, no running water, no electricity, fire, flood, things of those natures. Those are considered as emergencies. So we work our work orders in that order. So we have 432 units. We work them as fast as we can. We have 7 maintenance staff members that work our work orders. So we're working them, So we are doing renovations to our properties. We're starting from the inside and the outside equally. So we're doing new flooring. We just repaired 5 different buildings on site with the new roofs. So the company is putting in money to make the property better. It's just taking time.
And my last question for you, it's a building, do you have any buildings that's vacant? Because there's one building right by your storage unit that's just extremely dark. And when I looked at it, I couldn't see in the walkway. I couldn't see, it's just extremely dark. What are you guys doing about that building there? Is that building empty?
We only have one building that's empty, and that one faces the boulevard. That one does not have any residents there, and there is no lighting there because we have to work on that building, so there is no residents there.
So on your security cameras, so I can call you back, when would you guys have your security cameras rewired and ready to?
I would say maybe in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So if you would like, I can email you over the electrician's information so you can correspond.
In 30 days?
I'm sorry?
30 days?
Yes.
Okay.
So once the permit is approved, he can come on site to do the work for the wiring. He is corresponding with Alabama Power because they go hand in hand. So we already have 7 meter boxes on site. He has to wire an 8th one for our security cameras to work. And they've already paid for the staff monitoring, which is going to be 24-hour monitoring of our security cameras. So it's already been paid for. The electrician has to do their work, and they've already submitted their application with the city.
Okay, so please email me in 30 days to let me know that work has been completed.
Okay, well,
thank you.
Right, we have some people signed up to speak on these two, and Is Avis Lewis, you want to talk about Ravenwood? This is about Ravenwood now. We're looking for people to talk about Ravenwood. I can't hear you. Oh, she can't hear me. Ravenwood, are you here for Ravenwood? Number four. You're not here for that? No. Okay. Is Karen Jones, are you here for number 4? Okay.
She said yes.
Ravenwood?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm here about Ravenwood, Mr. Mitchell, because I've been getting several calls to pictures and videos of the mold, mildew, rat infestations. I contacted the Oldham Property president and founder, emailed them, asking that they have a community meeting, preferably with you in attendance as well. Senior citizens, I call them my senior citizens. Senior citizens who live in the area are complaining about breezeway, no lighting, security issues, they don't feel safe. They said that they stopped, and she returned my email and called me about she's not accepting any more emergency rental assistance program because it takes so long, and she said that some people are riding out on when they first get in, whatever special that is. However, the evictions, in my opinion, if you're doing business as Garden Grove, you either gonna be Garden Grove or you're gonna be Ravenwood. So I think that's an issue that we need to find out, who is this company? Is it Garden Grove or is it Ravenwood? And if they DBAing, are they letting tenants know? Because we just gonna throw out people when it gets cold, and we got emergency rental assistance, and we know it's a long drawn out process due to the new regulations of getting the paperwork processed. But why would you deny money coming in that's already gonna, it's gonna help these people? So we don't want a lot of people being thrown out, and then these issues in their apartments are not being taken care of, the mold, mildew, rats. And I can email you the pictures and the videos that they're sending me, so you can see for yourself what's going on. And I'm gonna send, what I do is send it to Oldham Property president, you, her, and everybody, and they need to come together and meet with their tenants. Don't put notes on the doors or whatever, because to my understanding from the residents, they're saying they haven't received a note or a memo from the rental office. She said they keep the door locked due to COVID. This can't be in this city. We can't do our people like this. It's getting too cold. We ain't putting our old folks. And then when they're on Section 8, it takes a while, you know how the process of getting the inspections to, so they can move forward on their vouchers or whatever. So there are some real live issues out there that need to be addressed with this apartment complex. And I think if I suggested that they have a meeting, a community meeting, and the residents out there feel like they're going to be retaliated upon when they voice their concern. And when you got old folks scared, I got a problem with that. I got a real problem with that. So I would like for you all to really get with them and check it out.
Yes. Thank you, Karen. There's one other person signed up. I cannot read the name.
Yes, you come back up. Yes.
But there's another person signed up. I assume it, I don't know who it is. So if you signed up to speak on these apartments, please let me know, because I can't read your name.
Okay, as it pertains to the issues that she spoke about, Ms. Jones did reach out to the owner of Oldham Management. He addressed her concerns and also routed her concerns to me. I do have a conversation which was recorded, because when I asked her who she was acting on behalf of, she just stated to whom it was concerned. So I asked her what organization, what it was. So I do have a recorded conversation of her and our conversation. When I explained to her, we are accepting ERA. We have, when the program rolled out on March 1st, I sat in the office from 8 a.m. to almost 10 p.m. signing up 150 residents to help them with the rental assistance. We do have over 80 or 90 people still waiting on ERA. There's quite a few residents that have already received ERA funding, and we have been working with our residents. Our delinquency, which I don't know if that even helps, there are people that have been sitting at Ravenwood that owe $20,000 worth of rent, and we have not evicted them. We've been working with them. Any resident that comes in and that's behind, we're not evicting them straight out. We're either asking them to pay half of their rent or make attempt to pay something before we evict them.
Question for you, is it a place that we can meet on property?
Yes, our rental office.
So I will call you on tomorrow so we can set up a meeting for those residents that stay in the neighborhood.
Okay, and then one more thing, and for our residents, we send out notices on the door and email notification. If you come into the office, there's a stack of letters that was issued out on July 27th when the new ownership took over. It states on there how to submit work orders, to come to the office, rent payments. It sits there and it's still sitting there and it's been there since July. Any resident that comes in and wants to make a payment or do a work order, we take their work order and put it in the system, and we help them and instruct them and walk them through how to do the resident portal, which is convenient for them. We also hosted a job fair for our residents at Ravenwood. There was a company, TBM, that came out and wanted to partner with us, and we hosted a whole job fair and catered to the children with hamburgers, hot dogs, a blow-up castle, everything to help with the residents with resources to help pay their rent. We issued out a packet of resources for family guidance, any type of assistance that they can help with, childcare, utilities, everything, and I have my documentation. So we're
Okay.
helping the residents.
We will set up a meeting, and I will
Okay.
call you on tomorrow so we can get it within the next 2 weeks.
Okay, so I have all my documentation because we are assisting the residents and they're non-responsive. So it's not like we're just kicking them out on the street. We've been
Thank you.
diligent enough to try to help them.
Thank you.
Thank
Very
you.
good. Thank you very much. Okay, you ready to talk on the next one?
One second, Charlie.
I just
Go ahead. 1 sec. Go ahead.
She asked me who was I representing. I said, I represent people who called me. She asked me who do I work for. I said, I don't work for anybody. I have an organization. She can play the recording back. I have eviction notices that people sent me. So I have no really dog in the fight. You understand what I'm saying? Why would they reach out to me? Who am I? If what lie I got to make up on a whole apartment complex? I just reached out to the president of the company because the elderly do not have internet access. I gave them the EBB program, the benefits program, to get free internet or low-cost internet services so they could go to portals or whatever. But a lot of senior citizens are impoverished. They don't have internet access. When they try to give money orders, she doesn't, or somebody in their office does not accept them. I have emails too. She can play the recording all day long.
All right.
Thank you, and I'll set up
Thank
that
you.
meeting.
All right. You want to talk about,
Yes.
you got one more.
One more.
Serenity Apartments.
Yeah, 2 questions.
Serenity.
And then you got, Mr. Ellis, you there?
Yes, I thought we was doing.
You with Serenity?
I
Sir?
think,
You with Serenity?
Yes, sir, we were with the next three, actually.
yeah, I was fixing to say, he has all Serenity Townhouses of Montgomery and the Oaks Apartments are
Okay,
all
very good.
owned by
Yes,
Thomas
sir. We
Ventures.
submitted a progress report to each of you this morning via email. We've also submitted with the clerk.
Okay,
Gave
you
Mr.
got-
Mitchell a
okay.
copy. Shows
got
that
it.
progress has been taken since the concern was raised, and happy to answer any questions.
So we have already had a conversation. We will come back in 30 days because I have seen your plans that you have. I am satisfied with the plans. I have been out there a couple of times. There were some things that I emailed you and said that we wanted to see change. You said I will see those changes. The same thing. I want to receive an email in 30 days to saying that this has been put in place.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You had brought up one other issue earlier today, and I have confirmation that that's already been taken care of, and I'll email you on that as well.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I need clarification. Do you want them to come back to the council in 30 days?
No, they're just going to email me, and then I'll review it from there, Ms. Blaylock.
Good enough. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you. All right, moving on to the next item.
Item 5, resolution
Thank you,
approving the issuance of a business license for Rental Hall Event Center for Vanessa Ivy, doing business as Elevated Events LLC at 3645 Debbie Drive.
Representative of Elevated Events, Ms. Ivy, please come forward. Pull the mic down, get your
Good
name for the
evening.
record, please.
My name is Vanessa Ivy.
Ms. Ivy, thank you.
And these are
And
my
you
business
tell us
partners.
what you're trying to do.
We're opening up an event space for baby showers, bridal showers, and things like that. Over at Elevated Events, like I said, it's 3645 in the La Crosse Shopping Center, and we don't have any alcohol. We're not allowing anyone to bring any alcohol in. We're not allowing anyone to sell alcohol. We have the business ending at, parties are ending at 12 o'clock. And that's pretty much all we're trying to do. We're teachers, so we're trying to earn some extra money.
Mr. Calhoun, this is in your district.
Yes, Mr. President. Ms. Ivy,
Yes, sir.
I'm just seeing this, and then I apologize. I would like to come out and just see what you're saying. I'm all for, enhancing the business over there. I've been over there. I know we have a dance studio and some other things over there.
Yes,
But
sir.
over the next couple of days, if I can just schedule this, I would like to carry this over for 2 weeks and vote on this at
First meeting.
in December, which will be December 7th. So, that'll get you into your Christmases, whatever you're doing. So
Yes, sir.
I would like to come out there and see it. And I think I have your contact information on here. Yes, ma'am, I have, and I give you a call and just come out, and then we'll just see what you're trying to do, and we'll move forward from there.
All right, thank you.
Carried over the first meeting
Thank you.
in December. Okay.
Item 6, application for a lounge retail liquor Class 1 license, doing business as Torch Cigar Bar at 1801 West 3rd Street.
Representative Torch Cigar Bar, please.
Good evening.
Your name for the record, sir.
My name is Reginald Miller.
Oh, Ms. Miller.
I'm here today requesting a liquor license for Torch Cigar Bar LLC.
This is a public hearing. Anyone like to speak against this item, please come forward.
Man, look at all the people back there.
Seeing none, I declare the public hearing's been held. It's proper for the council.
Mr. President, this is in my district. I'd like to move to make a motion to approve this.
Let's make a motion to suspend the
To
rules
suspend the
first.
rules.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous.
The motion to adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted.
Congratulations.
Good luck with your business, sir.
Thank you.
Good luck with you. Yes, sir.
Item 7, application for a restaurant retail liquor license, doing business as Sour Grapes, 1240 East Del Mall.
Representative Sour Grapes here, please.
Man, look at Global Bear.
Good evening,
Your name for the record, please.
Felicia Menora.
Okay, Felicia. This is a public hearing. Anyone like to speak against this item, please come forward.
You good with it, Charlie?
Yeah. I see none. I declare the public hearing's been held. It's proper for the council. I'm good.
Mr.
Tell us a
President.
little bit about what you're trying to do. It's a
We're-
restaurant?
Yes, we're just opening up a restaurant in East Del Mall.
Okay.
Where it used to be the old Applebee's. Part of it, we're going to be serving just regular food, and we're also going to be serving vegan food as well.
Okay, very good.
All right, good job. Mr.
All right,
President,
we need a motion to suspend the rules.
Mr. President, move to suspend the rules.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Move to adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted.
Good luck with your business, ma'am.
Vegan, yeah.
Item 8, application for retail beer and retail table wine off premises only, doing business as Circle K at 621 Northeastern Boulevard.
Representative Circle K on Northeastern Boulevard, please, sir.
Good afternoon, Katina Boswell.
Ms. Boswell. This is a public hearing. Anyone like to speak against this item, please come forward. Seeing none, declare the public hearing's been held. It's proper for the council. Need a motion?
Mr. President, move to suspend the rules.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Move to adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted.
Good luck with the business, ma'am.
Thank you.
Item 9, resolution appointing Nakisha Tilton to the Montgomery Clean City Commission.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes, Mr. President, this is mine.
Yeah, you need to suspend the rules.
Yep, just motion to suspend the rules.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Motion to adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Now, you getting rid of
Resolution
my
is
buddy
adopted.
Willie? I don't have to suspend the rules on that.
All right. Next item?
Item 10, resolution appointing Sharon Rose to the Parks and Recreation Board.
Okay.
Discussion?
I knew that was coming. Sharon already gone. Oh, she's back there hiding.
Hey, she couldn't hang in here.
I need a motion to suspend the rules,
Move to
please.
suspend the rules.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Move to adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted.
All right.
Item 11, pursuant to Section 1153B1 Code of Alabama, authorization of demolition of unsafe structures at the listed locations.
Need a motion to uphold.
Move to uphold.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Is anyone out there? So we don't ask if anyone's
That's on
out
the
there.
next one.
Speak on these.
We're going
I
to
think
the
it's on the
next
next
item.
one.
Item 12, resolution declaring, authorizing, and assessing cost of abatement of public nuisances on various lots.
I don't have anybody signed up for that.
It's on this one we talking about now.
Where?
Well, we just voted those through. We're on number 12 now, right? I have nobody signed up to speak on number 12. Number 11 either. Okay?
Hey, Ms.
No, she signed up for something else. She's on our list.
Mi-
She's on our other communication. Okay. I need a motion to suspend the rules on number
Mr.
12.
President, move to suspend the rules.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Move to adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted.
Okay, Madam Clerk, what else you have? We've got one other thing I need to take care of this
you got-
time. We got a resolution we need to be taken care of on the, did you, on the,
Stacy?
Stacey, you want to take care of this? I've got one,
Thank you, ma'am.
as we discussed earlier. I got one.
I gave it mine.
Okay.
Give it to Glenn.
Thanks, let's rock and roll.
Madam Clerk, just.
Mr. President, resolution authorizing mayor to execute memorandum of understanding regarding the Alabama Memorial Preservation Act.
Need a motion to suspend the rules.
Mr. President, move to suspend the rules.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Mr. President, move to adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted.
Say some of that paper.
And council, I have put before you contingency funds. The first one has been approved by Mayor Reed for District 3, $3,500 to Alabama State University Foundation Aspire Program for the 10 for 10 fundraiser. And I have had, Mayor, I've had a request from District 5 that I need your approval on 2,000 to West Alabama Jubilee Community Association, and they are a vendor.
I have to add, Positive Parents Have Power. Is that a vendor, Ms.
Yes,
Brown?
ma'am, they are.
I want to give $500 to their, the Christmas benefit for the children over at McIntyre, the company,
I can't understand you.
for the, event at McIntyre, the Christmas gala that they're having for the children, the graduates at McIntyre. I want to give $500.
But it's going to Positive Parents?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yes, District 6,
Okay.
Positive Parents Have Power, $500.
Okay.
Manhood Inc., $2,500. And Royal Ambassadors Ministry Economic Development, $1,000.
1,000.
Yes, ma'am, 1,000.
Okay.
Ms. Blaylock,
Yes, sir.
Positive Parents Have Power, $500 also.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Mr. Pruitt?
I need a motion to adopt these. Approve. All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, you okay with all of these?
Okay, we have, my lord, Zachary Marcedo.